his body for a trek through this Sahara Desert, through North Africa, headed for Europe across the Mediterranean. Preparations for Lampedusa. I tagged him like a suitcase, and our wedding henna and the indigo of our gods, so sand and salt water could not erase him. Using a hand-rolled cone of discarded plastic, I labeled him in Arabic on his forehead with the translated love poems of Rumi riding across the arch of each eyebrow. I braided his eyelashes into a wind rose to inform a faltering will where grace blew the hardest. I pierced his ears with Voltaire's call to give ourselves the gift of living well. On the palms of his hands, I rendered in sloppy English the poetry of Lord and Night. Between the doggone mask that dressed his breast and the hairy lotus flowers that framed a navel I loved to get lost in, I sung in the double swirl of Earth's only colors, a plea in Italian to be kind. Amid the spiraling canals of Sunday Oster's praise song that ran up and down his legs, front and back, I marked the empty spaces with the tattooed kisses of his children, an appeal box leading back to Kalanani. On his stained fingernails, I wrote our love dreams, you know, a quartered filled belly of lamb and hibiscus, a muted chest, feces that is thick and whole and free of the world's disdain, a means of stretching our children with ideas. I wrote this in Bambara because it glows in the dark, because it can lift a diminishing resolve from the clutches of a cold night desert, an even dance on death's imminent arrival in the middle of a beautiful sea that will reject him, disguised as a lullaby to remind him at the moment he is embraced in a wet, frothy death hug that this failure is not his. It is not his. It belongs to those who will rescue his body. I just dropped my daughter off a couple weeks ago to Stanford University as a freshman, and she came up through here with Larry from the time she was 7, and he's been a really important part of her journey. I lived for 10 years in West Africa, in the Ivory Coast, where my children were born, and when my daughter was born, we were considering a name, and I always wanted to name my daughter Sojourner, after Sojourner Truth. My husband, being Ivorian, and his family wanted a traditional name. And so there was a little discussion about how we were going to resolve that. Anyway, I gave my husband a biography, a series of biographies about Sojourner Truth. And after reading them, he says, oh, most definitely it's going to be Sojourner. And I thought it was because he was impressed that she was an abolitionist and a women's rights advocate and all. But he was impressed with the fact that she had rescued her children. She had 2 children that were sold, and she was able to get them. Anyway, this is for Sojourner. Don't confine her to a day of the week or give her the burdens of a childless queen rescued by crocodiles. A goose said names could slide you into a destiny. Choose with abandon then, void with the well wishes of rejected sages, a name for our new baby girl, one that lets her raise herself from denial's pit, free from the weight of having birthed the world. Even against the counsel of tradition, in the face of greedy censure, masked and ancient, hungry to consume light, he wanted to take a chance as much for himself as for you, to place you in a basket, swaddled in a name, bound in our faith that you would float into a grand adventure. We gave you to Isabella, coal black, 6 feet, steaming in her own appetites, because she staked a claim on self, hoisted the gravity of her own cravings to announce her arrival. And that is what we wish for you, a bodacious declaration of self, because armed with this, you can traverse the world in love. Thank you.